Braveheart. Do you know who that was? No. But do you? Today, I'm going to give you 3 possible options for this greatest hero of Anglo-Scottish warfare. So if you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen and click the thumbs up at the end to let YouTube know if you enjoyed this video. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. So who was the real Braveheart? Oh, I know you've seen the film, but I hope to take you beyond that and look at 3 different men. 3 different men who might rightly bear that name. Men both lauded and feared, and maybe even surprising. Do I even need to say anything about this guy? The Hollywoodization of William Wallace started long before Hollywood ever existed. William Wallace was immortalised in a medieval poem by Blind Harry. Now, let's be honest, there will be parts of that poem that aren't quite accurate. Blind Harry didn't see anything that William Wallace actually did. His writings were largely based on an audiobook by Dumb Charlie. That last bit was a joke. The point is that Blind Harry was born almost 150 years after Wallace died, and he never called William Wallace Braveheart. Oh, Wallace was brave, lauded by Scottish patriots from his day until now, lauded by the Victorian Unionists who built the Wallace Monument. If you didn't know that, then you should watch my video, What They Don't Say About the Wallace Monument. He was also feared by English troops garrisoning Scottish strongholds, by innocent civilians in the north of England as he crossed the border, maybe even by some Scottish nobility. But I doubt they feared him quite as much as the person I reckon feared him most: Edward Longshanks. Edward Longshanks finally thought that he'd subdued Scotland in 1304. Most of the noblemen who'd sworn allegiance to Edward but reneged on that oath in order to fight for Scotland got off pretty lightly. But Wallace, who never swore allegiance, who had no oath to renege, who could not be bought or bent by lands or titles, who remained true to the patriotic cause come what may, and had inspired others when noblemen couldn't. Oh, he must have scared the crap out of Edward. So the man who had never sworn allegiance had to die a traitor's death. But he wasn't called Braveheart. Robert Bruce, the other half of the double act of Scottish freedom. There's no doubt Robert Bruce was heroic, although he was far more flexible than Wallace when it came to Edward Longshanks. Some might say they had more to win and more to lose, but it was he who finally won the patriotic cause. This is the man for whom the term Braveheart was originally coined. In fact, the reason that I'm uploading this video on the 24th of August is because this weekend is the annual celebration of the event that gave him that name. And it's held, of course, in Spain. Robert the Bruce was also lauded and feared. Lauded by those who have reflected on his success in the patriotic cause. Feared by those who opposed him, both without and within. You see, before Bruce repelled the English invaders, he had to crush the Scottish competition. We often brush over the civil war that Bruce won before his famous victory at Bannockburn. We focus on the end of his life, when he finally won freedom for his country.
At the end of his life, his final resting place was here in Dunfermline.
The ornate tomb was brought from Paris to house the remains of Scotland's most celebrated warrior king, with the exception of his heart. Bruce had promised to go on crusade in the Holy Lands, but with time running out and health failing, he asked on his deathbed that if he couldn't go himself, his heart could be cut out from his body and he could be carried there with his Valiant Knights instead. So when a small group of Scottish knights stopped off in Spain on their way to the Holy Land, the young King Alfonso asked them to join him in his holy war against the Moors. Well, it'd be rude not to. The story goes that a group of Scottish knights joined in the Castilian King Alfonso's fight against the Moors. During the battle, they got ahead of their Castilian mates, and finding themselves surrounded by the Moorish hordes, their leader threw ahead of them the embalmed heart of the king who now rests here. A heart brought all that way for exactly this purpose. The warrior called out, "Forward, brave heart, as ever thou were wont to do." It was Robert the Bruce who was Braveheart. But once again, Hollywoodization started long before Hollywood began. You see, I've seen it written that this anecdote didn't appear in the original 14th century version of Barber's The Bruce, but it wasn't until the 16th century edition. I've seen it said that the placing of this as part of that final battle was from Walter Scott in the 19th century. I've also seen it written that the battle cry wasn't "Forward, brave heart, as ever thou were wont to do," but simply "Now pass thou onward, as thou wert wont." And elsewhere still, that the actual words were "Mona hedja dobar." To be fair, the guy I heard that from was wearing a cap, a tracksuit and Burberry baseball cap. And it was 2010. So who was this brave knight who gave the historic battle cry? Now, just before I give you my last suggestion for Braveheart, let me point out that Dunfermline Abbey here will be just one of the places that I'll be visiting with an intimate group of up to 25 people in the spring of 2025. If you enjoy my storytelling, then why not join me on an 11-day tour of Scotland's historic places. We'll also visit border abbeys, Reaver towers, famous battle sites, ancient monuments, stunning castles and more. All entry fees, full board, hotels, local transport, comedy show and final night K-Lair included. You might even get a wee tipple of whiskey. I'll put a link top right and leave one in the description below. And if you're in any doubt, then email alexis@scotlandhistorytours.co.uk. Good Sir James Douglas. Now, I've heard people, even Scottish people, call this greatest of Scottish heroes the Black Douglas. That always annoys me a little. He was good Sir James to us. It was his enemies who called him the Black Douglas. It was the English who feared him, who gave him that label. This was a man lauded and feared. It seems to me that fear of him was greater than William Wallace or even Robert the Bruce. It wasn't Bruce or Wallace of whom English mothers sang as they nursed their children to sleep. "Hush ye, little pet ye. Hush ye, do not fret ye. The Black Douglas shall not get ye." The exploits of good Sir James Douglas are many. And let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to cover more of them. But this was his last. Entrusted with the heart of Robert the Bruce, he and a small group of valiant knights sailed from Berwick. They stopped in Flanders before continuing on south. They rounded the southern coast to Spain and then sailed up the Guadalquivir to Seville, where King Alfonso summoned them for an audience. He was fighting against Muslim Moors of Granada, and a bunch of aggressive jocks was just the kind of help he was looking for. But he was getting more than that. Knights flocked to meet the most famous knight in Christendom. Alfonso was getting a superstar. Notable was the number of English knights who wanted the opportunity to fight side by side with, rather than against, the most renowned warrior of our islands. Halfway between Seville and Granada is a castle on a hill at a place called Teba. Castillo de la Estrella, the Castle of the Stars, held Moors and was held by Moors. Soon it was encircled and invested by Christian forces as relieving Muslim forces looked for ways to hit at these besiegers. Good Sir James was given command of the International Knights. During one exchange, they'd put a Muslim force to flight, and chasing them towards their camp, the small group of enthusiastic Scots raced ahead of the rest of their comrades. Suddenly, they realised that they were going to have to fight their way back to the safety of numbers. Good Sir James, Bruce's heart round his neck, rallied his men, and they cut their way through the throng, only for James to notice that Sir William Sinclair of Roslin, whose memorial stone you can see in Roslin Chapel to this day, wasn't with them. Looking back, you could see that Sinclair was cutting and slashing his way, surrounded by the enemy. James called his companions to ride to Sinclair and give him honours, shouting, "A Douglas! A Douglas!" crashing into the Moors one more time. They cut their way through to Sinclair, but the Moors closed around them. In the fateful last battle, if the cry was shouted, this is when it was. What can never be denied is that good Sir James lived and died brave of heart. When the battle was over, Keith Augustin and the surviving Scots scoured the field, and they found James struck by 5 mortal wounds piercing his body. They saw nearby Sinclair of Roslin and other Scottish knights. The Christian comrades said that when those Scots who'd missed the battle due to injury and broken bones found James's body, surrounded by dead Moors and next to a casket containing the heart of his king, they lamented like men gone mad. From the next generation, in addition to 3 stars on the Douglas coat of arms, was a blood-red heart. Who was the real Braveheart? I'll let you choose. But good Sir James was as important to freedom's cause as Bruce or Wallace. But there's another unsung hero of the Anglo-Scottish Wars who never gets enough praise. There's a video about him coming up on screen now. You should watch it. Support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member, or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, ha mi an dóchas gún bí lam alive. Sherry and Drasta.